and I'm here with the legendary Jchains with Web3 Breakfast Media. So, man, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're building in the space.
Well, absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me on and to talk about this. My name is Jchains. I do a lot of show hosting. I'm a fighter. I'm a trader. Just a builder here in Web3. And so, yeah, I've got a couple shows that I do. Web3 Breakfast is in the morning. It's 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. And that's our community connection. It's a great place for it's like the water cooler. We do the breakfast table, right? Everybody get together. Everybody can come up on stage and have even if your opinion different, like it matters. And so we love to say, as long as you're respectful, come on the stage and have a good time. So that's my morning show, The Morning Connection, and then in the afternoon, right now, we've been doing it at 1:30. That's the news and numbers. I'll go over headlines. We'll look at the markets really more at a broad scale, and then later, we look at like the charts and maybe even get into a trade live. Who knows? So that's what I'm building. It's really centered around, this is my year to focus on me and build my brand. I've been helping a lot of people in this space for many years, but it's my time to do the thing. So I've taken, the Web3 Breakfast Club, and that was our community, and I've taken that and I built the W3BC Media, which is just the offering of being able to formalize my content, put it out there, and then really the whole idea is to bring the community members along with me. And so as my platform grows, I can continue to add more friends. I like call them my friends, but people that want to create in the space to come in and participate.
Absolutely. I mean, like we were talking on the panel at the Futures Conference, and the community is everything. It's it's hard to do things on your own. It's nice to have a support system and a community to kind of lift each other up and cheer and root for each other. So, one thing I've always wanted to ask you is, what got you into Web3? Like, what got you into crypto and this whole space, this whole degen space or the institutional space?
I love this question. Thanks for asking. So what got me into it was back in the day, back in 2017, I was just doing some simple stock trading with a buddy, and then we heard about crypto, and so we got into it. And I had become a community member to, it's now an exchange that doesn't exist anymore. It's called CoinPulse. But so I had bought into the project and then really liked the community and the team. And they started doing these fan art competitions, and I won those. And then it was video submissions, and I won those. And they asked me to host the YouTube channel. So I was doing a daily YouTube, kind of like a news thing, going through projects, whatever for them. But I was also on the listing team. And so, I would be reading white papers and researching projects for hours and hours. And so I really got this baptism by fire in the ecosystem. And, a few months later, I go to my first conference in 2018, the Voices of Blockchain in Chicago, and got connected with some high level people in the space. And, from that point, I had gone to school, I'd gone to college for broadcast communications. So it's always been a passion, and being in production and all that stuff was something I always wanted to do. But I was working, for a family company. I was running director of operations for a logistical company. It was our family company, and was doing this on the side. COVID ended up shutting that down, and so I was able to pivot full time into crypto at that point, which I had already been, but really it was just the formality. And so 2025, here we are, and now we're building this media brand, and we're trying to really make a name for myself. I've done a really good job of doing that over the last several years in the space, but now it's on a different scale, and it's for me personally. So that's where I'm at, man, and I'm loving every second of it.
That's absolutely amazing. And being a part of the Web3 Breakfast community, I can attest that this is definitely the man to bring a great community. We had a great meetup with a bunch of the people from Web3 Breakfast Media.
Yeah.
And the Web3 Breakfast show, that was my entry into Web3 and my first community that I joined. And it was a bunch of amazing people. And like you said, you always like to say, getting where you fit in. That really sticks with me, because it's you have community members from all walks of life, which is so cool. And they're all here getting better, growing 1% every day, like you like to say. And it makes it so motivating to be in the space, to push, to grow, to change. And because we're on this life for such a short amount of time, and why not give it your best? Why not be the best you can be? Because you have nothing else to lose. So this kind of leads me, and my next question is what is your North Star? What is your guiding? What drives you? What makes you push and to get better 1% every day? What is that driving light for you?
That's a great question. I used to think a lot of different things that don't matter mattered, right? So now my driving star, my motivator, is ultimately my family, but my daughter, you know what I mean? My daughter and my wife. And, you know, it's something that has pushed me to become a better version of myself. I mean, even to the effect where I have said yes to some opportunities like Karate Combat and Crypto Fight Night, which most people would never even dream of stepping into a ring and fighting somebody, you know, professionally or whatever. But because of the opportunity that it provided, and not only the opportunity to go travel, like go to Dubai and do this stuff, but like get healthy. Like I dropped 40 pounds. Like I feel like I'm going to be around this planet longer. And so, and now I've really like, okay, so I've really got this thing to live for. And so, yeah, it's my family that really pushed me, and they're so supportive of everything that I do. I mean, obviously, like this game and this gig, it's a tough grind. It's not the easiest industry, and you know, you have to just you have to put in the time, you have to be patient, you have to be consistent, and all that stuff. And I'll tell you what, man, behind every great person is usually the saying, I think, is like behind every great man is a great woman. And 100%, man, I am proof of that. It's like if I didn't have the wife that I have, a lot of the stuff wouldn't get done because she helps me. She is like basically like helps me get a lot of the things done that I need to get done. And then my daughter is just that is, man, I don't know if you guys saw that, Crypt. I know you did, but like my Karate Combat fight, like when I walked out of the tunnel, like this was one of the most, I don't know, interesting moments of my entire life, because it was my moment there, and it was so surreal, and the adrenaline and all this stuff. And I did like this Simba moment where I saw my daughter right after I came out of the tunnel and lifted her up, and like to me, that's a moment that I will remember forever. And so it's like that specific thing is my North Star. Like I can always pick to that and be like, that's what I do this for.
Dude, like I think that's why me and you vibe so much, because like I'm in a similar spot. I got a young daughter at home myself. We're both girl dads. That's it, man. And I think that's why we connected so well, because, you know, everything I do is also for my family, and my wife exactly allowing me to, you know, the push, and still instead of having someone that kind of sucks the energy out, they actually bring you energy and allow you to push forward and get you hyped to keep doing what you're doing. So I totally vibe with that, man. I totally understand that. So one question I want to ask you, so for Web3 Breakfast, Web3 Media, Breakfast Media, what would you say sets you out from the rest? What makes you different? What makes you unique?
That's a really good one. I would say one, I know is that I'm authentic, and there are a lot of people that are authentic in this space, but there are not, you know, most times, and again, this is a general thing or whatever, but the person that you meet is not the same person that you watch, for the most part. I would say that that is the exact opposite for me. I am exactly the person that you see day in and day out. Consistency, the fact that it's interesting that I would always put someone before myself, and I would say that. However, something that I learned this year, and this is kind of when I think about my motivator, my driving force, I actually learned this from AJ. AJ Writes Crypto, is that this is my year to be selfish. And so like I really, you know, I'm going to be focused on myself this year. And so me focusing on myself is ultimately the end goal is my community and the people that, you know, I surround myself with and surround around me. And so, you know, the rising tide floats all boat. I use that, you know, example again. And so, you know, my goal is to better myself. And that's why I live this 1% better every day. We all step back. We all take a 2-step or a 3% back. You know, it all happens. Weekends, you want to have a few more drinks with the buddies or whatever, right? But as long as you are consistent and you push that forward, that's where you get. And so like I live that ethos, and I feel like that's another thing that sets me out, is that I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. Like I live this, I make myself better every single day because I preach it to my community and my people, but I also live that for my own life, because that really, you know, there's a lot of things that you can do within your life, and if you think negatively, you make better bad decisions, right? But if you constantly, like, I'm a silver lining guy. I will always find the silver lining in the situation, and to me, if you think positively, positive became like it just brings more positive, right? And so as long as you just like stay on that sunny side, like you can I don't want to say manipulate like your environment around you, but I think, you know, what you state, you create, you manifest your own destiny, stuff like that. I think, you know, you put that stuff out there, and, you know, it makes you a better person, and you just constantly, again, consistency and all that stuff. So that's what sets me out, is that, again, I don't really want to mess around in this space, and I don't really want to, you know, I'm not here to take anybody's liquidity. I don't actually never even sold anything. I might, you know, promote some projects here and there or whatever, but, you know, it's that's it. Like, I just, authentic me is who you get, is who you see.
Absolutely, and I totally vibe with that, man. You are definitely one of the most genuine people I've met in this space, and I think that's why we connected, because like I'm very picky who I choose to like work with, because like it's very like, you got to be careful. You got to have your guard up
Absolutely.
sometimes,
Especially
right?
crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think when you go to these IRL events and you meet people face to face, I think it really makes that connection a lot stronger. So
What do we call that?
proof of meeting.
Proof of meeting.
That's it, brother. So my next thing was, what's next for Web3 Breakfast Media? What's like the next hot alpha?
Well, so my goal is to, like I said, I said before, is really just build this brand up and show people who I am and how I can showcase my skills, talents, and what I offer to the space. But, I've got several big interviews lined up while we're here at Consensus. So everything should be out hopefully by the time you see this. And so, it's a lot of names you guys will recognize, some big projects, some big blockchains and all that. So I'm going to have a good time. So it's really just this is my year to come out of my shell and reinvent myself, and so that's what you can expect, is just a lot of me.
Awesome. Well, Jchains, thank you so much for doing this for me. This has been great. Let people know where they can find you online.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys smash the like button, hit the hearts, do all the things you got to do. If you want to find me and connect, you can go to Jchains X on Twitter, or if you want to find my YouTube, it's just at Jchains. I got the vanity thing on there. And then if you want to connect on like Telegram, it's just at Jchains there. Look at that. Real easy.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us today. We're here at Consensus. We'll see you next time.
Talk census. I love that.